Okay, so I am in the London Road Cemetery in Coventry. I'm sorry if there's background noise. The main road is literally like right behind those trees. Like the main road into Coventry. It's super loud, so I'm really sorry. I've been in this cemetery a few times now and it's really interesting. It's actually not that old if you think about how old the UK is, especially how old some of our cemeteries and churches, chapels, that kind of thing are. But it's actually really cool and it's huge. I've never been in the second part, so it's split in half by a train line. I can probably insert a little bit of footage of like just how long this section is before you get to the bridge, the 𝕱𝖉𝖉𝖎 bridge, which is the train bridge, and then I don't even know how big it is past that point. I don't actually know how to even get into the second half, but I thought I'd at least show you around this section. It's really cool. It was built by the guy that this monument was built for, Sir Joseph Paxton, and I believe it's early 1800s, so I mean it's pretty amazing. He died June 8th, 1865, if you can read that. It's pretty cool. So yeah, so I think people live in this little house behind me, so I'm just going to keep walking for a little bit and maybe show you some of the cool gravestones that are here. There are some like mausoleum type gravestones. There's a really cool like Grecian temple, classical temple style monastery or chapel maybe, that is completely dilapidated, and then there is another chapel just over there which I'll loop back round to in a bit. I want to get away from this main road, so I'm going to go this way actually because it's super loud. How dare people be out on a Sunday? And then I'm going to do a little bit of Spirit Box. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing this Spirit Box app that I found on my phone. It's the free version. There is like an £8.99 version, which I'm apprehensive to try. I don't really trust phone apps, but as this isn't an actual meter, I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to go this way and I'm going to show you guys this chapel. It's super cool, and there is a dog walker, so I'm going to, maybe he's looking at me thinking, what the hell is this girl doing? I must look like such a freak just walking around a great graveyard on my own without a dog and talking to myself, but it's okay. So I'm going to show you this really cool chapel. It's really strange the way that this cemetery is laid out, because there seems to be like new gravestones or newer gravestones mixed in with like old ones. It's a bit strange, but I know that this way, from the times that I've been down here before, I know that this way is where some of the really old almost like 𝕈𝖉𝖎𝖆 or like tomb, like crypt style gravestones are down here. A really interesting thing, really sad but really interesting, is about 800 people were buried here during World War II that died in one night during the Coventry Blitz. For the benefit of people that I may have watching this that aren't from the UK, we got horrifically bombed during World War II, like really badly. And Coventry especially got really badly bombed. Coventry was the epicenter, I suppose you want to call it, of like the munitions and building the plane engines and everything that basically funded and kept the war going. And Germany bombed the shit out of us, and it was horrific. The damage was awful. We lost our cathedral. The cathedral's in ruins. We lost basically the city centre, and it had to be rebuilt during the 1960s. So 800 of those people, maybe more, it's around 800 people that died during that night, during the Blitz, were buried in this cemetery. And you can see why. It's absolutely huge. It just goes on forever. And there's more people than that are buried here. There'll be World War II soldiers. I know that there are war graves in here. I don't know about the rest of the world, but in the UK, war graves are replaced a lot of the time. The councils or the government pay for war grave memorial stones, which are white memorial stones, and I can see one over there, so I might show it you if I could get over to it. So yeah, so we've got World War II soldiers, probably World War I soldiers as well, and over 800 Blitz victims just buried in here alone, which is really sad when you think about it. I don't know whether there's any ghost stories to do with the Blitz or the war involved in this cemetery, but I know that the cathedral, people hear German bombers flying over the cathedral and there's nothing in the sky, and I would imagine they have a very specific sound. So that's interesting, especially if anything comes through on the Spirit Box session later. I'd be interested to see that. So there's quite a few new graves in this bit. I'm not going to film new graves or like modern graves, because I don't think that's fair. But we're coming up to the really old bit now. Okay, so I've made it to what I used to think was a crypt, but apparently it's actually a chapel. So this was the original chapel that was here before they built the one that we came across earlier. I've never actually walked up to this, and I know that you can't get in, and it's completely secured, but I want to show you because it is literally the coolest thing. It is so abandoned. Look how cool this is. Like, seriously, I just wish that there was a way to get in. Like, I wouldn't trespass, but like I wish that there was somebody on site that was able to let me in, but I know that that's not possible because it is officially classed as dilapidated. But I mean, it doesn't stop us from being able to come up here, I suppose. It's not cordoned off or anything, so I'm just gonna walk up. I guess teenagers have been in here because they're graffitied the walls and stuff. It really annoys me when people do that. The light is horrific. I'm so sorry. Maybe this would be a really good place to do Spirit Box session. I think I'm gonna set up in this little corner here. I'm gonna sit down here and I'm gonna do a Spirit Box. Okay, so this is an app that's on my phone. I'm hoping that this can hear me very well. So it's called SV1 SPIRITVOX, like VOX, and this is a trial version. This is what it looks like. There's literally no instructions. You click the menu and this is what it gives you. So there's no instructions on how to use this, so I guess I'm just gonna have to figure it out for myself. So I'm gonna start it. And there's a slider. I think the slider is for pitch rather than speed, and rather than changing the direction of the sweep. So I don't actually know which direction the sweep is going in. It sounds to me that it's backwards, which I would prefer. I think there's a lot of ways that matrixing can happen, and you can make words if it's going forwards. Some radio stations, I believe, are across multiple frequencies, and that to me gives enough time for the word hi or yes or no, and the really, really well used words that people use spirit boxes for. So backwards means that any words that come through aren't interference from real radio stations. There is a record button and there's a playback button, but I don't think with the trial version you can download the recordings, so I'm just going to have to hope that you guys can hear this. I can just do zone around, so I'm just going to so loud. Are there any spirits here that want to come and talk to me? I may have heard something there. I'm just going to fiddle with these sliders and just move it towards the A. So let's slow it down maybe. So what if I do it all the way to B? So maybe it is speed. Is there anybody that wants to come and talk to me? I may have heard something then. Please let me know if you hear anything that I don't hear. Please come through this device in my hand and let me know that you're there. I definitely heard a yes. 100% heard a yes. Thank you. If that was you, can you please tell me your name? Come on, please tell me your name. I think I heard somebody say yes a couple of minutes ago. If that was you, can you say yes again for me? Noticed that you can actually see into the rafters above me, and they actually look like they might have been redone, or yeah, it looks like they might be renovating potentially, which would be awesome. This place would be so cool if it was rebuilt. I'm gonna start this again, but I'm gonna move it to the A. So I kind of turned it down a little bit from the B because I thought maybe it was a little bit too fast. So I'm going to start it closer to the A and see if we get anything else. I thought I heard somebody say yes, which is the only word that I've really heard come out of this. I don't know whether this is actually a like radio frequency sweeper, or maybe it's just a white noise box. They don't really give you any information, and I guess that's why it's a trial version. If you want me to buy the real version and give that a go, please let me know. I'm happy to review it, but I'm going to give this another shot and see what we get. through this device in my hand. My name is Sherry. Can you tell me your name? Please tell me you're there. Is there anybody in this cemetery or within this chapel? That was a conversation. I'd really like to talk to you. Okay, so I know that it is totally chance that something will come through or somebody will come through to talk to you, so I can't really make my mind up with this app. But the fact that there's no instructions, the A and B slider, it doesn't tell you what they do, if they change the pitch, if they change the slider, like the direction of the sweep, or if they change the speed, and it's kind of hard to tell because it's just white noise. So I don't know whether to fork out £8.99 and buy their full version or not. Reviews have been quite mixed, but mainly people say nothing comes through, but then that's kind of the business, I guess. Tell me what you think. I'll buy it. If people want me to buy it and test it out, I'll go maybe to another location and give it a go, or I'll do it in my house. That doesn't bother me doing a spirit box session in my house. Just let me know what you think and I will be happy to do it. I'm gonna go for another walk around the cemetery. Maybe I'll try it like out there just one more time and see what we get. But yeah, just let me know and I'll buy the full version, the pay full version, and see what the difference is and if we get anything. So I stood up and like I kind of just brushed the dust off my ass and looked over there, and I fully thought that was a person standing there. Like, I'm sure you can understand why at a quick glance. I honestly thought that was a human being, and my heart stopped for like 2 seconds. I just thought they were standing there staring at me. Creepy. I guess you can kind of see in the background there's like a kind of little fence, and that is where this section of the cemetery ends. and I don't know how to get into the second section. I believe that it's still open to the public, but I don't know how to get in there. The main road is just there. This was the main road into Coventry, and still is one of the main roads into Coventry, but a little further down that way was, I believe, now if you are from Coventry and you're screaming at me, because I'm not actually from there, I just live here, if I get this wrong, I'm sorry, but it was called 𝕸𝖊𝖉𝖎𝖆, and it was the original entrance to the city, or like the original like toll gateway, entranceway to Coventry City way back when. And they would have prisoners in gibbets, you know, the cages where like there's no floor and their feet have to dangle through, and they would leave them in there to like slowly die of exposure, hunger, thirst, whatever, and then just leave their bodies there to rot, as kind of like, you know how they did with pirates, they would like hang pirates as a warning to other pirates. It was like a warning to criminals, like if you're coming into our city to do this or that, or like be a criminal, this is what's going to happen to you. And that was just down there, and there have been sightings of people and sightings of like horsemen, horse carriages, really strange mists and strange lights and stuff. But unfortunately there is like a big main road and like part of the motorway that covers that area now, so it's not actually a place where you can pull up your car, because it's a no stop zone. You can't like pull in anywhere and do any filming or anything like that, because like the city has expanded past that point and stuff now, which is sad, because I would love to get down there, but yeah, I can't, and to walk there would take me about 3 hours, 4 hours, so that's not gonna happen. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I guess I will include that little bit of footage that I said about earlier, where you can see the 𝕱𝖉𝖎𝖆 bridge down there. You can see how long the wall is, and that is the original wall as well. So people would have been driving down, riding their horses, carriages down here, along that wall line, way back, like before Queen Victoria, I guess, which is cool. Coventry is an interesting place. It's ridiculous how much ghosty stories and stuff there is here, but places aren't really interested in talking to you about it or letting you into places. I would love to be able to get into the catacombs of Coventry Cathedral. They recently opened them back up. During the Blitz they got flooded, or like caved in and flooded in, because we've got a like river that's been closed up that runs through Coventry, so you can't get in there. And they managed to get in, and I emailed them straight away as soon as the news broke, and they were like, no one's going in there, which is a shame, but I get it. It's sacred, and it's, you know, there were bodies down there, so I get it. It's a shame though. Okay, so I've just spotted a gravestone. So if you know this city, if you know Coventry at all, Hill Street is one of the main, or not a main street, but it's a street in the city centre, and West Orchard is the name of our shopping centre. Now, not being from here, I don't actually know if there was a street name called West Orchard Hill Street, but this body has been reinterred. So it's been dug up from the city centre. So in memory of those buried in West Orchard Hill Street. So this is a mass grave. This is a mass grave, like right here. So West Orchards, maybe the shopping centre in town or in the city, has been built on top of a graveyard. And they've dug up everybody that was ever in that graveyard and buried them here between 1800 and 1971. So how many bodies would that be? That is mad. And it's like we're like right at the entrance of this as well. That is insane. I don't even want to think about it. I don't really like standing on graves, but I feel like I'm far enough away. But if this is a mass grave, then I'm kind of standing on people, and I don't like doing that. I don't stand on people on graves. It's mad. I need to do some research into that now. I need to find out where that was. So I am running out of battery, typical. This camera just gets zapped. But I've got my voice recorder. So I guess I'm just gonna do just a little bit and maybe just call out and see what happens. So I'm gonna place it. It's now recording. I'm gonna pop it on there. Is there anybody here that wants to come forward and talk? This little box that I've placed on here, you could talk into that and tell me your name, please. I thought I just heard something then, like a cough, but there isn't anybody here. No, there's literally nobody in here at all. Like, it's empty. Totally empty. Please talk into that box. I'll step away a little. Let me know that you're there. Could you tell me your name, please? I'm gonna leave it recording for a minute. And I want to check out if there's a name on this. It's really hard to read. Really hard to read. Murray, I think, is the surname. L-A-S at the end of the first name. Something Douglas Murray, maybe? Potentially. Could you tell me your name into that box, please? Oh, there's a person up there now. Could you tell me how old you are, please? Sorry. Close up of my chin. Could you tell me what year you were born? Could you tell me what year you passed away, what year you died? This woman's totally going to clock me standing behind a gravestone in a second, so I'm going to move again. I'm trying to stay out of her view so she doesn't think, why the hell is this girl stood literally behind a grave? It's a bit weird. Thank you for your time talking to me. I'll listen back to this and hopefully I'll be able to hear you. Thank you. Okay, well that's saved now. My camera is literally about to die and my hair is horrific. I'm so sorry because of the wind. But I'm gonna head out and I'll review this when I get back and close down with you. I'm just watching this woman so I can sneakily come out from behind this grave like nothing happened, like I wasn't doing anything weird. I need to get a dog. If I had a dog, no one would look twice. So seriously, I need to get a dog. I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna walk back through this beautiful cemetery and go home, and I will see you later.